Hello everyone, I am Sakshi Dhanokar. Today we will discuss about the respiratory system. So what is respiratory system? Respiratory system are also called as a oxygen delivery system. Respiratory system is a set of organs that allow the person to breathe and exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout the body. Respiratory system include intake of and exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the body and the environment, and they include nasal passages, larynx, trachea, bronchial tube, lungs. Respiratory system categorized into two parts or divided into two parts. First is a upper respiratory system and second is a lower respiratory system. Upper respiratory system include nasal passages, pharynx, larynx. Nasal passage include nasal, near nasal cavity, sinuses, pharynx, larynx, epiglottis, etc. And the lower respiratory system consists trachea, bronchioles, bronchi, lungs, alveoli. The respiratory system performs two major tasks. First is external respiration and the second is internal respiration. In external respiration, the respiratory system exchange the air between the body and the outside of the environment. This is called as a external respiration. And in the internal respiration, in this bringing of oxygen inside the body and removal of carbon dioxide from the body is called as a internal respiration. In the internal respiration, bringing of oxygen to the cell and the removing of carbon dioxide from the cell referred as a internal respiration. So respiratory system includes some functions. First one is supply the body with oxygen and dispose of carbon dioxide in our body. In respiratory system, oxygen are intake and the carbon dioxide are discarded or disposed in our body. Second one is filter the inspired air. The air which are inspired or enter in our body, they get filter with the help of nasal cavity or with the help of nostril that contain the hair-like structure called as a cilia. Third one is a produce sound. In the respiratory system, there is a larynx present that called as a voice box. Due to this, we able to produce a sound. Fourth one is a contain receptors for a smell. Fourth one is a rid the body of some excess water and the heat. For last one is help to regulate or maintain the pH of a body. So respiratory system help to maintain the pH of a body by removing excess of carbon dioxide in our body or decompose the carbon dioxide in our body. If the carbon dioxide in our body increase or level of carbon dioxide in our body increase, there is an increase in acidity. So remove the carbon dioxide in our body or decompose the carbon dioxide in our body, there is a reduce the acidity and maintain the pH of our blood. Next one, the respiratory system help to maintain the temperature of a body. Next one is a breathing. Breathing is a process that takes place in the respiratory system. So what is a breathing? Breathing is a process in which we take oxygen from environment and expel out or decompose the carbon dioxide in the environment or outside the body. Breathing is also called as a pulmonary ventilation. Pulmonary ventilation include two type of cyclic process. First is inhalation and second is the exhalation. So what is the external respiration? External respiration consists the air from outside in the environment or enter the nose or mouth during inspiration, that is called as a inhalation. So the external respiration are occur in the area of nose, nasal cavity, pharyngeal sinuses or paranasal sinuses, pharynx or larynx area. All the parts of a conducting portion of the respiratory system. First organ of the respiratory system is a nose. Nose is also called as an external nair. It divided into two walls or two nair by the help of nasal septum. Nasal septums are the septums that divide the nares of a nose into two parts, that is external nair or internal nair. It contains paranasal sinuses where air is a warm or temperature is maintained in our body. That nares contain the cilia, that is hair-like structure, which is responsible for filtering out the foreign particle, dust particle, or help to remove this particle through the sneezing or coughing processes. So the external nares open to the pharynx, or the internal nares are open into the exterior spaces. So nasal concha. Nasal concha is a fold-like structure that contains mucous membrane that increase the turbulence or ensure that most air contact to the mucous membrane. Indirectly, nose or their parts help to moisten and warm the entering air, filter and clean the expiration. Third one is a resonating chamber for a speech. Second one is a pharynx. Pharynx is the most important part of the respiratory system because it consists digestive tract, also respiratory tract, that is a windpipe, or also called as a airways, is commonly called as a throat. Pharynx originate posterior to the nasal and the oral cavities and extend inferiorly near the level of the bifurcation of the larynx and the esophagus. So common pathway for the both air and food called as a pharynx. The wall of a pharynx lined by the mucosa and contains skeletal muscle that are primarily used for swallowing of a food or swallow the food. It is a flexible lateral wall are present in a pharynx in order to force to swallow the food in a esophagus. Or pharynx are divided into three sections. First is a nasopharynx, second is a oropharynx, and third is a laryngopharynx. So nasopharynx contain the pharynx tonsils, that is adenoids, which aid in the body immune defense. Second one is a oropharynx. Oropharynx is a back portion of a mouth that contain the palatine tonsils that help to body immune defense. Last one is the laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx are present on the bottom section of the pharynx where the respiratory tract divided into two parts, that is esophagus and the larynx. So next part is the larynx. Larynx is also called as a voice box, or it contains the Adam apple like a structure. Voice box is a short, somewhat cylindrical airways into the trachea. It prevents the solid material from entering lower respiratory tract or conduct the air into the respiratory tract or produce the sound. It is a main function of a larynx to produce a sound. Next one is a trachea. Trachea is a one type of flexible tube that are present in our respiratory system. It also called as a windpipe. So extend through the mediastinum and lie anterior to the mediastinum and the esophagus and the inferior to the larynx. So cartilage ring provide rigidity to the tracheal wall and ensure that the trachea remain open at all times. At the level of sternal angle, the trachea bifurcate into two smaller tubes, that is and the left primary bronchi. So each bronchi project laterally toward each lungs. Lungs is a conical shaped organ or the largest organ in a respiratory system. It is a concave base shape or superior region called as a apex. Project superior to the point that is slightly superior and the posterior to the clavicle. So both lungs are bordered by thoracic wall, and toward the midline the lungs are separated from each other by the mediastinum. So the mediastinum is help to bifurcate the lungs or separate the lungs. So relatively broad and the rounded surface in a contact with the thoracic wall is called as a costal surface of the lung. This pleura membrane, the pleural cavity is present. The cavity is a potential space between the serous membrane layer in the pleural cavity. So pleural membrane produces a thin serous pleural fluid that circulates in a pleural cavity that help to absorb the shock or external impact of any things. At the lungs, the bronchioles are present. That bronchioles bifurcated into bronchi, and the last of this bronchi or last portion of this bronchi, the alveoli is present. That alveoli help to inspiration or help to exchange of gases between the lungs. How to work the lungs? Lungs is important that the air in the alveoli and the blood in the capillaries are very close together, so that the oxygen and the carbon dioxide can move from alveoli to the capillaries by the diffusion process from higher concentration to the lower concentration. In that way the lungs are work or exchange of air or exchange of gases from blood to the lungs. Part is a diaphragm. When we inhale the air, the lungs are goes down to the, due to this the diaphragm get contract and pull downward, and during the expiration the lungs are relaxed or get upper side. Due to this the diaphragm or relax or get their own position. So this is all about the respiratory system. Thank you.